All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's Wisconsin Farm Bureau Lunch and Learn. We're happy to have representatives, the dairy farmers of Wisconsin, with us today. Just a couple of things before we get started. First and foremost, please don't forget to mute yourself. Unless you have a question, then you'll need to unmute yourself to ask that. There's also a chat feature. If you take your mouse and scroll it towards the bottom, you'll be able to ask the presenters any questions that you might have, and I will help facilitate those throughout today's presentation as well. So we're happy you all could join us. I'm going to toss it over to Louisa and Jody. I don't see Vicki in the screen, so I will let them take it away so we can maximize our time today. So take it away, ladies.
Well, hi. Thanks for having us. I'm Louisa, and this is Jody. We're from the La Crosse County Dairy Promotions Group. So we were asked to come here today and basically talk about a few of the events that we run during June Dairy Month. So our goal when we try to come up with ideas for our events is to kind of find people where they already are and try and figure out where we can overlap. So once we get these things started, they kind of repeat over time, and yeah, you make friends that way too. So I would encourage anybody who's not already involved in a local group to just get started. Volunteer at events you're already doing, talk to people around you, and jump in. Dairy promotions isn't really complicated. It's talking about the things that are our favorite things, right? Dairy, cows, people. And so just make it a kind of a natural thing and go from there. So what works for our county, we're a small group, 4, 5, 6 people at very most, is text messages and phone calls amongst ourselves. Each one of us in our dairy group has a group of people that we can resource for projects that we do. We found sending out postcards to communicate with other dairy producers in our county has probably increased our attendance at our meetings by 50%. Now it sounds awesome, but it went from 4 to 6, so we're still working on it. But otherwise, we come up with ideas, and then we're just kind of like, well, how do we get it done? And Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin has been a resource for us, and we come up with something, and we're like, can you help us build this or make it? And they always say yes, so they want to help with projects like anything that we do in our counties, and so when they offer, say yes. Can you help me with this? And go from there. So one of the first new activities and something that we're trying in our county this year, I mean, there's lots of things that come on and off the books, but this is new for us. We're sponsoring a concert night in the park. It's on the Mississippi River, and our local Rotary organization already manages this event. They kind of just look for sponsors during the summer. It's live music and local bands, and they sell water. It's really kind of a chill thing. But we'll get for our sponsorship, which is $300 for a 2.5-hour concert, 5 minutes on the mic time. We've got space at the tables for information on what we want to talk about, and then we're planning on selling milk at our event and passing out the new Real Deal, Milk with the Real Deal pamphlet that DFW updated this year. So those will be our tick marks for that project.
But most importantly with this event, it's just another way of getting face-to-face contact with our consumers. We've been doing a lot more of this the last year. We've been doing some cheese tastings at the local grocery store, People's Food Co-op in La Crosse, and you'd be amazed at how many people come back time and time again. And I remember you from last time. What was that cheese you had the last time? So we are starting to make some of those contacts, and again, events like this are just great for that kind of opportunity.
Yeah, meeting people where they're at and just kind of being available for questions and answers and a conversation. So one of the next activities we're going to talk about is a month-long event that we partner with our Children's Museum in La Crosse. They have a fabulous children's museum. It's 3 levels. They've gone through a complete upgrade and capital campaign, refreshing and redoing exhibits out there. So what we're planning to do for the whole month of June is to bring down our life-size fiberglass cow painted like a Guernsey, and we've named her Gert, who's the founder of that museum. So that's kind of a pull-in. And then we have a tabletop display that DFW helped us produce 2 years ago. It's an interactive farm-to-table process, and there's flip-up cards with questions and answers. Then we put some other things on the table for handouts and takeaways. So besides what's going on with that display, there's also going to be some weekend events on Saturdays and Sundays. We've got a new smoothie bike that they're using, and then on Sundays I think they're shaking butter. So it's just kind of something unexpected, something different, something to connect people with what's going on during June Dairy Month. And then every youth visitor will get a cheese stick to take home with them with their paid admission. So our goal is that everybody who walks in the door knows that it's June Dairy Month and can take away something different in that part of the year. So the museum's returning the favor to our group and the dairy farmers in La Crosse County by opening their doors in an exclusive event after hours, no charge. So we're going to schedule that and let our farmers know. So we appreciate that too. So June 1st through June 30th, and then we pick up the projects.
So one of the things that we've done for many years, and this was even the group prior to us being on the committee, we have an annual festival in West Salem. It's called June Dairy Days. And this year is the 50th celebration year. So we decided to do something a little bit different and kick back to the days of old. When the dairy tent first started up, they would sell items like cheese and butter, milk, and along with the ice cream like we usually do today. But because of manpower and costs, etc., they decided many years ago to discontinue selling the cheese and those types of items. So in honor of that this year, we're doing a big butter promotion. So we've purchased 1,000 pounds of butter, and we're going to be selling that to the attendees at the festival for what the price was 50 years ago. So that's our kickback to the celebration. We're still going to continue serving our ice cream. We usually have 6 or 7 different types of ice creams. We serve strawberry sundaes and chocolate sundaes as well. And we get a lot of the local 4-H kids and some other youth groups to come in and help serve us. And it's always a great event for us. We do serve Kemp's ice cream, their premium ice cream. And the comments that we get from people is just like, where did you get this ice cream from? Your typical store-bought ice cream has a lot of air whipped into it, and this premium stuff has more higher butter fat too, so the taste is a lot better. So we win a lot of people over with that. We also have on display here some of the new promotional materials that comes out from the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin. So last year they had some displays that stick in the ground signs and stuff that had question and answers on, so we had those set up around the tent as well.
Tabletops.
Oh, tabletop. Sorry. No, I guess one other new event associated with this, we're partnering with a local restaurant in West Salem too, and we're going to be giving away milk, 1 glass of milk to anybody that comes into the restaurant to eat. And to go along with this promotion, we're going to be making up some tabletop displays that are going to be advertising all of our events that we're doing in June Dairy Days. And we're also going to be featuring some of our local farm families. So we sent a request to have our farm families send us in photos. So we'll have that along on the tables as well. Again, it's just another way of putting a face to a farm. You know, your food to table, everybody's concerned about that this day. The restaurant is really happy about working with us. They're even wanting to do more promotions throughout the year, depending on how this goes. But again, we'll see how this goes. Hopefully it will be a tradition that will continue on, and we're hoping we can get it to some other small breakfast areas, restaurants in the area as well.
So before I jump into the photo, Wendy, can you help us out if there's any questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Does anybody have any questions? Like I said, you can either unmute yourself or you can put them in the chat. And while you're gathering your questions together, I have a question myself about the events that you have. You said you're a very small committee organizing the events. How do you go about finding people to help you when the event is actually taking place?
With some of the special events we've had, like some of our cheese tasting, we actually had one event at a local wine bar one year. And I know that we have some ladies in the group that are very wine friendly, if you will. So for them to assist us with that program just worked hand in foot. I mean, so again, you have to know what their likes and dislikes are. That's huge. For the most part, we don't have any problems getting people to help us. It's more of a time thing. You know, they have other activity going on. But for the most part, if we ask, we've been able to get enough people to help.
And most people always say yes when you say, can I count on you to help me with such and such? And they always say yes.
Yeah, that's great. Especially if you get some of your dairy farmers who realize and understand the importance of promoting Wisconsin's dairy industry. That's really great. Okay. I really loved your ideas in that you're connecting with things that are already happening. So the June Dairy Days and working with your children's museum, I think those are really, really great connections to have where something is already going on and you can just be a part of it. So kudos to you on that.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I don't see any questions, or we'll take questions if anyone has them. No, if not, I'm going to toss it over to Vicki from the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin, who's going to talk a little bit about some of the resources that they have to offer. Take it away, Vicki.
When we were asked to do this opportunity and share with the Farm Bureau what is all happening throughout June Dairy Month, we thought what better way to highlight our county dairy promotion groups. And each county across Wisconsin has a dairy promotion group doing some sort of dairy promotion. Doesn't always have to be focused on a dairy breakfast. Like you heard La Crosse doing a lot of different things strategically to reach targeted areas. And so we tend to help with assets, whether it's signage, educational materials. We don't help with product donation, but we really hone in on that marketing and educational resources. So I'm going to hit on what Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin has available and also encourage people to get involved with it where they can. So June Dairy Month is main feature and is paying special tribute to our dairy heritage and really that iconic June Dairy Month. And we're featuring it around Hooray Wisconsin Dairy. So we have groups entering their dairy breakfasts, their educational events and opportunities that they have going on at wisconsindairy.org/daydm event. And so they all auto-populate on hooraywisconsindairy.com. So if you have an event that is celebrating dairy, whether it's a race, whether it's a dairy breakfast, or your music in the park, those are all things that can go on hooraywisconsindairy.com, and we'll feature those pieces. We just ask you to fill out a form and that we have some resources that we can connect back with if there's questions. A couple other June Dairy Month highlights. We have a catalog online where you can order cheese and dairy gear, anything from stickers and magnets to lanyards, t-shirts. Really, the sky's the limit. And if you don't see something there, you can reach out and ask. On the right there, we also have everything in our June Dairy Month kit. The ladies mentioned that they utilize it in their dairy promotions last year, and we're doing it again this year. A lot of yard signs, directional signs, things that are weather resistant. You never know when it's going to rain for a dairy breakfast or an event, so these things are all can withstand the weather. We also have Hooray Wisconsin Dairy hats, so volunteers can be identified and people can come up and ask questions, and really encouraging people to get involved and have the conversation. So putting in some trivia questions, quick facts, gets people and gets the conversation started, and that's really important to us. Oops. some other really exciting things that we are doing. The last 2 years, we did a series of farmer films, and we featured 3 of them, and we partnered with Marcus Movie Theaters to highlight these short films in movie theaters before the big show. And so it's getting featured in 26 theaters across Wisconsin. We get 1 theater in Illinois and a couple in Minnesota. And we're tying that in with a cheese curd promotion as well. So we're encouraging consumers to consume dairy, celebrate dairy, and then also tell our farmer stories to hit home on that pride and show that passion that our farmers have. So Renee Clark, Laura Daniels, and Jim Milsna, we made custom movie posters that will get in display in all Marcus theaters as well, so we can continue that story even when they're outside of the movie theater. Some other things that we're doing across Wisconsin is we have a big media push. So press kits are being distributed across Wisconsin, local and those bigger markets. We're also targeting outreach in the 6 major media markets for television and radio. And we also created PSAs that highlight June Dairy Month. They talk about our Wisconsin family farms, white milk, chocolate milk. So we have a variety of PSAs available for our local promotion groups to use, our media people to use as well. And then in our advertising and strategic direction there, we have signage and Snapchat filters at the airport in Madison and Milwaukee, targeting that information and having people get excited around June Dairy Month as they come into Wisconsin. Like I mentioned before, the movie theater takeover, that's something new we're trying, which we're excited to see how that goes this year. We don't do as much in terms of television commercials and things like that because we really target that digital and social element. And so we have a paid digital and social campaign that'll happen when the breakfasts really kick off in middle of May and going through in the beginning of July, featuring the dairy breakfast as well as these farmer films, both the 30-second short films and then the 2-minute longer videos as well. And then something that we tried for our Wisconsin WIAA basketball tournaments this year, we did a Spotify playlist, which is music that people can subscribe to, listen to. And so we've had fun internally building this list of music that people can get excited for and celebrate dairy. But we strategically also place in these PSAs and information about Hooray Wisconsin Dairy. So lots of different ways that we're reaching consumers, much like Lacrosse mentioned. We're finding people where they are and inserting ourselves where it's appropriate. So social media, movie theaters, the airport. Where else can we find ways to make that connection and really highlight and build affinity and excitement towards Wisconsin and Wisconsin dairy farming and farmers? So we kept it very focused around June Dairy Month, but really there's a lot of different moving parts that we focus marketing and educational efforts towards for dairy specifically here in Wisconsin. So I encourage you to check out wisconsindairy.org. We also have Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin Facebook page, so you can follow along and see what we're doing. A lot of the county dairy promotion groups have Facebook pages, and they're highlighting what they're doing on a local level year-round. So you can reach out to them directly, or I have my contact information here, so if you want to get involved or you need some more information about how you can get involved, definitely reach out. Another thing that we're doing is we're really highlighting what we're doing with Farmer Dollars and what we're doing with in the checkoff through an e-newsletter that we've started in March. So there's a sign-up form that you can utilize to sign up for the newsletter, learn more about what we do at Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin, and get connected and be informed, because that's really the way that everybody can elevate dairy, is to be part of something bigger. So Wendy, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks so much, Vicki. We did have one question from a participant wondering if there are any promotions happening outside of Wisconsin.
We do have a little bit. I mean, our media pickup will hit that Minnesota market, but on a national level, we're celebrating June Dairy Month year-round, and not just Wisconsin, but on a national scale with DMI, which is the national checkoff. And that's celebrating June Dairy Month. June 1 is World Milk Day, and so that's another big push for everyone to get excited, whether you do a milk toast or you donate milk to your local food pantries. There's lots of ways around World Milk Day you can get involved. And the Great American Milk Drive is another one that through on a national level, they're really encouraging people to donate milk to the local food pantries. And June is that transition from when school kids are out of school and into the summer. And what better way to make sure that there's a nutritious element to those food pantries to get to the families in need.
Mm-hmm. You bring up a really, really great point. I challenge county farm bureaus to take part in some type of milk challenge and donate milk to your local food pantries. That could definitely help bring awareness, especially on June 1st, World Milk Day. I did have one other question. You talked about the dairy promotion kit with the yard signs. Do you need to connect with your local dairy promotion group in order to get those, or how would someone go about being involved with that?
We really encourage getting involved with the county dairy promotion groups because each county has access to a promotional kit. And so not all elements work with each dairy promotion. If a Farm Bureau member is doing something, I really encourage you to reach out to La Crosse. Every county has one. And if you have questions about how to reach out to them, please, there's my contact information, or you can call our main office and we'll get you connected, because it gives an opportunity to share ideas. What else can be brought to the table and how else can you educate and promote, really to build affinity and trust for our dairy farmers and farming here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to chime in a second on that too. So last year we actually had a kit for our own county, and then my nephew also requested a kit as well. So we actually used those signs at our June Dairy Days event in West Salem. We used them at our breakfast. They used them at our county fair. And then our nephew also kept them in front of his yard all summer long. So we really did get a lot of good use out of those signs last year from those kits.
Yeah, absolutely. I know at my parents, we have a "Don't forget the milk" sticker on their mailbox. So important reminder as everyone drives by. So thank you so much to the three of you for joining us today for the Lunch and Learn. I think there are a lot of great ideas. I especially like that you said dairy promotion can go outside of your typical June dairy breakfast. While those are really, really great events, there are a lot of other opportunities that are available too. So if you are listening or right now on the live version, or if you are listening to this recording, definitely reach out and investigate some of those opportunities to promote Wisconsin's dairy industry. With that, if we don't have any other questions, we're going to wrap up today. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone next month on Wednesday, June 5th. We are going to be focusing on our Farm Bureau Local Affairs program. So Steve Bowe, the Director of Local Affairs, will be hosting that event. Again, it's Wednesday, June 5th, and we'll have the RSVP available soon. So with that, hopefully we'll get some sunshine here to come out, and everyone will have a safe and happy planting season. And I will see everybody next month.